Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, and it's time for your Leeds versus Arsenal post-match review in the Carabao Cup. Leeds United lost 2-0 this evening to Arsenal. It was definitely a game of two halves for me. Leeds United failed to take a number of opportunities. I say a number, but there were, a few opportunities that fell their way. I thought we shaded the first half for me. Personally, there were strikes for Jack Harrison that was well saved by Bert Leno. You have to say that was a great save. There was a chance from a ball over the top from Llorente, who had some great passes into midfield, breaking the lines. Great ball over to Dan James. Touch let him down. On another day, maybe it's better. He can dink it past Bert Leno. There was one for Harrison where he's tried to lay it through to Rodrigo, just too much on the ball. And obviously, if you don't take your chances, it will come back to bite you. And it was definitely a tale of two halves. I think personally, a lot of the blame has to lay at Bielsa's door for the substitutions that were made. They were a bit baffling. You assumed they were pre-planned. I don't think they were. Bielsa's been speaking afterwards and saying his decisions behind the substitutions. Obviously, Click was brought on for Forshaw. You assume, okay, that's okay. Forshaw not had a lot of football, plays 45. I thought he did well. I thought he did really well in that first half. You assume it's pre-planned. However, Bielsa's come out after and said he thought Click could take advantage of the chances that we had in the first half, maybe getting up closer with the attack than you would expect from Forshaw. But ultimately, he didn't do that. Click's really off the boil again for me, and didn't do anything in that second half. And we lost the midfield again. We lost the midfield. There was no midfield again in that second half. We totally lost control. So obviously, second half, we just went to pot, really. We went to pot. Geldart was brought on, which I know a lot of the fans wanted to. He was brought on for Tyler Roberts. I thought Tyler Roberts did okay in the first half. Naturally, at half-time, everyone's saying, get Geldart on. I understand it. But let's not put too much pressure on the lad's shoulders. He came on, he made a few successful dribbles, tried. Do you know what I mean? I think Bielsa said he wanted to get him and Rodrigo combining, which you can understand because it worked well against Wolves. And then obviously Chambers comes on and gets a goal within his first touch. Poor from the set piece, really. Meslier behind his line. It was a decent header actually from Pepe to put it back across goal, and Chambers put it in the back of the net. And Meslier unfortunately stood behind his line. If he stood on his line, he maybe saves it. It was a bit like pinball stuff. But listen, the first 5-10 minutes, I thought we were going to be in trouble because Arsenal really dominated that period, but Leeds grew into it. Leeds really go into it, and it looked like a winnable game for me at half-time. Definitely. But we presented them 2 goals. I mean, Liam Cooper, look, you guys know I'm one of his biggest defenders. People were saying, talk to us about Cooper now in the watch-along, which is fine. But I can't defend that. It's indefensible. The header back was poor. Eddie Nketiah got on the end of it. I mean, Eddie Nketiah nearly missed. He did nearly miss, which is unlike him from him. We know he knows where the back of the net is. Thankfully for Arsenal, it went in the back of the net and 2-0, and you knew it was game over then for me. Leeds United were just going through the motions because as soon as that went in, Somerville and Greenwood came on, and I know there's a lot of fans want to see the kids. They want to see the kids blooded, but in that sort of game, when you bring them on, we're 2-0 down, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything. You need someone with a bit more experience, put the foot on the ball, let's string some passes together. There was a thing that flashed up in the second half. We had like 63% possession. I don't know how for periods of that second half we had more possession than Arsenal because it was all just one-way traffic for me. We missed our opportunities in the first half. The subs that were made by Bielsa made us worse. It had the opposite effect of what you want from a substitution. The game was there. Half time, I was feeling really confident. We have a woeful record against Arsenal. They're in a great run of form. They put out a strong side. I felt Emile Smith-Rowe, Ben White. I didn't expect these lads to be in there. I thought Calvin did a good job on Emile Smith-Rowe. Calvin, I thought was decent, but a bit shaky at times. He needed minutes in the legs, and hopefully he's got that, and we see him now for Norwich. Just on Norwich as well, we're hearing from Bielsa that Shackleton and Rafinha should both be fit for Sunday. That's a huge game. That's why I said before the game in my preview, continuity was key. We needed to continue with a positive result, because it's all doom and gloom now. Not with everyone. It's the cup. I don't think anyone's really bothered. It's Man City's anyway. They should just name it the Man City Cup and give it them at the start of the season. But I think we needed a positive result, even if we were to go out on penalties or whatever it was. I just think second half it looked poor again, and then everyone starts to worry and everyone thinks we're going to get beat by Norwich, etc. But the real substitution that rocked me was Llorente. Why did Llorente come off? He was playing really well. Like, his balls into midfield were brilliant at times. He really takes men out of the game, and we have turns and we're in on goal. He found Jack Harrison a few times. He found Dan James. I mean, Dan James just on him as well. Full of application, full of endeavour, full of energy, but his decision-making really needs to improve. That one where he got put through and he had Rodrigo to his right, your number 9, or he had Dallas to his left. And everyone's going right. And he went left. And the pass that he gave to Dallas was wide anyway. It was poor. That side of his game really needs to improve for me. Really needs to improve. Rodrigo, again, struggled a little bit, was offside quite a few times. Just needs to improve. But listen, the subs, the subs cost us. The Cubs subs cost us, and I thought they were pre-planned, but Bielsa said he thought Click could take advantage of the chances that we had in the first half, and he didn't. And I thought Forshaw was playing really well, and we really lost control then when he went off. And then Tyler, I thought Tyler was playing all right. Again, we just lost control then, didn't we, really? Geldat came on as again, some successful dribbles, but he can't do it all on his own, can he? You can see that he's got it. Do you know what I mean? He's got it, and maybe he starts against Norwich. Maybe that was why he didn't start tonight. I just want to say a big shout out to Cody Drama as well. I thought he did fantastic. First 5 minutes were a bit shaky, but then he made one very good challenge on Martinelli, and he just grew in confidence. Really grew in confidence. But the fact Jamie Shackleton's getting spoken about, the fact that Luke Ayling's going to be back soon, his time will be limited. I was really surprised not to see Creswell tonight, especially after the Fulham and West Ham performance. Put them in, but Bielsa took it serious until half time, and then it sort of went to pot a little bit. Like I say, bringing on Click for Forshaw was a mistake. I understand Geldat for Roberts, but maybe if you've got Forshaw in there still, you've got a little bit more control. You can get the ball from defence to attack instead of having to go long. And sometimes we just try to pump it up to Geldat. And then the real strange one, of course, was Llorente into Cooper. Really didn't understand that substitution. Llorente really gives us something going forward, and he's great defensively. And then Cooper, the error is indefensible. Obviously, Eddie scores, and then we're asking Somerville and Greenwood to impact the game. It's not going to happen, is it? So I think that's what cost us tonight, because it was there. He was there for the taking. We should have converted chances in the first half. Jack Harrison had the pick of the bunch, but there was opportunities where Dan James's final decision making, let us down. That one where we're through, I think it's 3-on-2. He plays it into Rodrigo, and Rodrigo probably scores. There was the one as well where Harrison put Rodrigo through just about half a yard too much on it. And if he gets there ahead of Leno, he dinks it. We know that Rodrigo has that capabilities. But in the second half, Arsenal were just too good. And then when they went up front, they bring on Lokonga, Nuno Tavares, Lacazette, and they just set up, and we were never going to get anything then. And they're in a great run of form, and I don't mind Arsenal. I like Arteta. I know a lot of Arsenal fans don't like him, but he's starting to get a tune out of this young side now. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm a little bit disappointed, but we move on. The big one for us this week was Norwich. Of course it was. We can't lose that game. You just can't lose it. So Calvin's come through that game. Forshaw can give us something. Geldat impressed again. Raf's going to be back. Shackleton's going to be back. Drama's another one you can look at. Will Ayling be back? Don't know. We don't know. I hope Bamford's back. But if not, start with Geldat. Put Geldat and Rodrigo on from the start for me, because they can have that connection for sure. But tough game. First half, I enjoyed it. Second half, we just went through the motions. The subs were all wrong. Bielsa's cost us in that respect. But it is just a cup. It's the Man City Cup. We move on now. We move on to Norwich at the weekend, and that's the real big one. Thank you very much if you've stayed up to watch this. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going straight to bed. Be back tomorrow with the midweek fix with Lucy before the whistle blows on Thursday. Friday, I'll have your Norwich preview, and I'll be doing a watch along for that game as well. And big shout out to those who joined me on the watch along. Keep liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, getting your comments in, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds.